Do your deer blinds pass the 100-yard test? What I mean by that is something that I basically set up my deer blinds by. I like to look at in client properties and anywhere out there. Is I look at if your deer blinds can be seen from 100 yards or more, they're not hidden enough. And this is an example of that, where I believe this will pass a 100-yard test easily. This is a honeysuckle bush, redneck ghillie blind, and when we look at this from the field, 300 yards away, this blind turns into a non-factor, just becomes part of the brush. But that's not it. It's not just blending in right here. There's some other blind setup strategies I want to talk about in this video. And at the same time, as far as hiding this blind, hiding the blind is critical, and we'll talk about that. But not only do we have this blind that blends in here, it blends in with a honeysuckle, we have a blind that is going to be behind about an 8 to 10 foot wide layer of switchgrass that by the end of this summer should be 4 feet tall. Right now it's already 8 inches tall, 6 inches tall. It's really looking really good right here. It's frost seeded, it was killed, frost seeded, then killed again. And then now I have to spray some broadleafs out of it and let it go. And it's gonna turn into an incredible layer. This blind setup strategy, I know we could shoot a deer out of here this year, a good buck, and it's just gonna depend on the winds and the timing. We have a crabapple tree right over here where Diane shot her first deer out of. My son Sam shot his first deer out of. They're coming in feeding this crabapple tree. It's loaded right now again. We have a family tradition ladder stand right here. What I like about this ghillie and it being a little bit lower is that we can actually access from directly behind the ghillie up a steep bank. That bank is about 50 feet in elevation. There's no deer there because it faces the neighborhood here where we live and where we hunt. And so we can access the back of this blind, not spook any deer on the way in. When we're sitting here, if we have deer feeding out here, we have big food plots up here, 50 yards away, we can get out of here too in the evening without spooking anything. And that is the key. If you keep continually spooking deer when you get in and out, then the area is going to be ruined very quickly. We'd ruin this whole property. It's open for 300 yards up to the hills, and then the hills, they can see us in this location where they bed up there. And so it is critical that we get in and out of our blinds on this property, and this is one of them. We're going to visit another one here in a second. Same setup, and we have 2 more redneck ghillie blinds out here that are hidden. Same thing, where we can get in and out without spooking deer. To be hidden, of course, it's got to blend. If we came and put this on a 15-foot stand where it's up and out in the open, then sure, we might be able to get to the base of it hidden, but then we have to climb up and announce our presence to the entire deer herd that's out in this open valley. At the same time, if we make a noise getting up and down that stand, we spook out the entire valley. So for archery setup, this is perfect. We can notch out a couple holes in the switchgrass to shoot, and literally those holes we cannot see, we won't be able to see through until we actually get into the blind in the back and open up a window. So it's hidden. We're not putting it up in the air and projecting it, making it so the deer can see us get in and out. Great access through a non-deer area. We're getting to the edge of extremely high quality deer area. We have 2 terraces, and then we have about an acre and three quarter of food right up top here. The crabapple is a perennial favorite. We have a video of mature bucks coming into that last year during the daylight. We have, not only is the blind hidden, it's a great spot. We can access it extremely well. This is set up so that we can blow our scent into a non-deer area until dark. Those deer do get behind us during the dark as they're going into the neighborhood to feed on bird feeders and ornamental shrubs, gardens. But great blind setup for the summertime right now, where we can allow this to brush in. We don't have to worry about deer finding that in the fall. We can access it perfectly. We don't have to spook deer when we're getting in and out of it. And hey, it watches a perennial crabapple tree that just lays down a lot of fruit, attracts a lot of deer. And now we've had a switchgrass line all the way through here. We have another switchgrass line on the next terrace, and then another one on the next terrace that surrounds the food plot, 2 food plots surrounded in switch. And so we're using that switch in long lines here, linear lines of plantings, to not only access, be protected when we're on this property, not spook deer, make deer feel more secure, but we're using it to access directly behind into this summer deer blind. And it's a great setup. And let's go over to the next one and take a look, because same type of thing. I really want to hammer this home, and I love this one over here. One of these I think we're going to shoot a mature buck out of. We call this, quote, Diane's property. She can't wait to hunt it. We've already set up chairs for these blinds, and we're all set to even film out of, she might even let me film this year. So let's look over at that second one real quick, because I love that one too. I decided to stick in the third example of a summer blind setup strategy. This is one that Diane and I set up, I believe, in January or February, but you can look how much it's grown in. We actually have really good access through here, so it's through a switchgrass line. This is an example of a great rut cruising spot. One of our best trail cam locations on any of our properties is right here under an apple tree. They scrape. We get lots of pictures there. They're eating apples. We can use this with a northeast wind, rut time, middle of the day. We wait till the deer are cleared out of these fields. We come through the switchgrass lines. We get into this blind, and then we watch this setup. A lot of the deer movement is right here in front of us, but we have this set up and ready. You can see how it's growing in brush. Again, if we put this 15 feet in the air, 10 feet in the air, it would stick out. We have great access. We access from behind here. Hidden access, great deer movement. This is a really good hidden blind movement. We love these Redneck Ghillies, and this will work really well. We can't wait to hunt it this fall. Now we flipped over to my second spot out here that I really like. This is another, again, we have great access into this ghillie blind. Our winds blow off this shelf right here. It's a ridge top, 50-foot vertical climb to get into this right behind. In this one, we actually have probably 12 to 16 feet of switchgrass that's growing right in front of here, and then the food plot behind there. The key is to a blind next to a food plot, stand next to a food plot. You have to be able to get in and out of that blind or stand without spooking deer. In this case right here, if we actually walk 50 feet up the bank and then set up a tree stand up on one of these trees, we would climb up and say, here I am to this whole deer herd that's out here. Instead, we could have 20 deer out on this little food plot here. We could get in and out without spooking those deer. Completely quiet on the backside. We have it raked out, no sticks. Get in and out. We literally can't see our shooting lanes until we get in, open the windows, and we can look through switchgrass that we've bent over. It's gonna be a perfect setup. We've done this with Egyptian wheat in the back in the past, worked extremely well. This is one of our favorite food plots. We had a lot of daytime mature buck activity on this plot. The crabapple tree is over here. We can't use this with an east wind because it blows down in the valley where deer are, but we can use this with directly west and then south winds blowing this way, even some southeast winds. The other blind we can use with east winds, northeast winds, south winds, but we can't use with southwest winds. And so the whole key, hidden access. We actually have a very good attraction at this, just like the crabapple tree over there. We could use these two for early season, see what bucks are coming out into the field. We have trail cams, of course, around here to make sure of what's coming in and out and when. But these are some of the summer blind setup tips that I'd like you to consider right now, making sure that these are going to be hidden in here, that you can access well. They have time to brush in over the summertime. And really, these blinds are a non-factor to the oldest buck in the neighborhood. He will not have a clue that these are here. They pass the 100-yard test, meaning from 100 yards or more, they can't be seen. In fact, Dylan and I were just approaching with the truck over here, and from 50, 60 yards away, it was very difficult to see back in here. And you can imagine with 4 feet of switchgrass, we won't see these at all. These summer blind setup tips are great. I hope you like all the strategies on the channel. And I especially hope you like the video and editing. Dylan Lenz does that. Say hi, Dylan.
What up, guys?
But he's from the Breaking Point and Black Stamp Media. He's been working with me either as full-time or I hire him to do this over the last year and a half. He worked for me full-time for the first year and a half. And he's partnered with Mike Mansell and Brendan Nading. And the three of them make up the Breaking Point. They have some really high quality videos on their YouTube channel. I invite you guys to check them out. If you like the videography and the editing from here, you'll like it even better on their channel. They create a great story on their hunts, turkey hunts, deer hunts, and a few big game species thrown in. So check them out. If you like this channel, I'm sure you'll like those, like their channel too. And again, it's all about the strategy. I hope you appreciate it in general, and make sure you subscribe to this channel too if you like it. Thank you.